So this is how you should think about real estate. That real estate will give you something very solid, very tangible. It's yours. The stock market you will invest money into is will show up your loss and profits in piece of paper. That's it. So if you have $100,000 of stocks in your portfolio, you go to the bank and ask them whether they can loan you money on it, they will say no. 9 out of 10 banks will say no. And if there is a bank who is willing to loan you some money, if you have $100,000, they will say, okay, we will loan you $40,000 because it fluctuates. Very first thing in life, if you hand over money to somebody and say that build up my portfolio in the stock market or build up my wealth, very first thing that's going to happen, if you invest $100,000 in it, they will take their commission out. And remember always, the way the courts, the way the declaration they have, if losses and profit happen in the stock market, it's all yours. They will say that, well, okay, if the stock market goes up, that they will take the credit, that they made the money for you. But if stock market goes down, then they will say, well, we are all in the same boat. They really don't do. The investor, your financial advisor or your financial portfolio holder, I'm not discrediting them, but what I'm saying, they do have knowledge. They know where to invest the money and all that. But my point is, when you hand out the money to somebody and expecting that they will make money for you, yes, some cases they will make money for you, but really they are not. It's just the stock market is making money. If it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, you just have to live with it. Real estate also goes up and down, but not as much. You check real estate, hardly anybody, if they are really made stupid choices, what they bought and they didn't take care of their property, then sure, they have lost money in real estate. And I said in my previous videos, this is not baby's game. Your hundreds and thousands of dollars you're playing with or investing money, your credit will go down if you don't make one payment to the bank on time. And in my previous videos, I have explained and I will talk about one thing to become, always keep in mind, to become successful entrepreneur or businessman, whether it's in the real estate or in any other business, do not let your creditors down. If your payment is due on 1st of the month, make sure that you make the payment on 1st of the month or before. Once you make one late payment, it's going to go against your credit because your creditors will make you rich. Your creditors will make you wealthy. So make sure that you are in real estate or any business, you make the payment on time. So wealth is created in real estate. You look into anybody's life, anybody, even Google, Facebook, Amazon, McDonald's, they are now buying real estate. They have made tons of money. This is also a rule of thumb in business. Every 30 to 35 years, businesses change. If you do not keep up with the change in the market, you're going to fail. You have seen probably a lot of old-time businesses have gone down, and they were 10 to 15 years ago, 20 years ago, they were very big and big names. But they went down. Why? Because they did not keep up with the changes. Also, this is also a nature, law of nature. What goes up is going to come down, and what was down is going to go up. This is how it is. This is, as a matter of fact, a friend of mine said that today. And I thought about it, and he said, I heard about that what goes up is going to come down, but I never heard before that what is down is going to go up. Yes, that's also true. Because when you're down in the bottom of the barrel, then you try to climb up. And then when you reach a certain point, then somebody's going to bring you down, or you yourself is going to bring yourself, or you probably go down just because of the law of nature. So keep yourself at the plateau in any business, especially in real estate. Make sure you take care of your real estate. Take care of your tenants. Make sure you know all ins and out. Once you have real estate, the wealth, not only you would enjoy the income from it, no matter it's a commercial real estate, residential, commercial, or a land or whatever, you must take care of it. And it goes, you hand it to the next generation. And that's what rich people, wealthy people do. They don't sell it because there is a tax benefit in there. As long as you keep the real estate, you don't pay taxes. But as soon as you sell the stock, you have to pay taxes right away. But real estate, they have a loophole. And I think it's not only a loophole in the United States of America, but it's, I think, throughout the world. And the loophole is that if you sell a property and within 6 months there's a time frame you have to buy a property of the similar value or higher, then you don't have to pay taxes. So what it does basically, if you sold the house, $500,000 house, today, a real estate or commercial real estate or residential real estate, within 6 months you buy a property of $500,000, you take that money and you don't use that money. You are not supposed to use that money, right? And then you can buy a real estate of same value or higher value. Let's say you got now $500,000 and you don't want to use any part of that $500,000 and you want to reinvest. Think about it, with that $500,000 you can buy a property easily about $1.5 million or $2 million. And this is what actually the wealthy people do. They will buy, they will sell something and they will file bigger, so it creates more income. And this is what they do, and then they pass it on to their next generation. There's another thing I will learn about. Because the next generation does not really know how you build it up, so you make sure that you train your offsprings right from the childhood that this is what it actually does, real estate does, and this is why you should not sell it. Unless you want to sell it, that's a different story. But that's why the rich people become richer and richer, because there is also a loophole about taxes. Now this is what also real estate does. When you buy real estate, it gives you 3 or 4 benefits. Very first thing in real estate, what happens is that when you buy real estate, you can bargain the price. That's your first profit. So let's say you're buying a property of $100,000 and somehow you get that property for $90,000 or $80,000. And the paper and assessed value of the property is $100,000. You already made $10,000 or $20,000 profit, because that's how the bank is gonna see it, the assessed value, or how much that property appraised for. So that's your first profit. Second profit of that real estate comes from your tenant. If you're renting a property, then your tenants are paying the mortgage payment, provided they make the payment or pay you the rent on time or pay you rent every month. But majority of people pay rent. Majority, when I say majority, 80 to 90% people pay rent on time. They might be late here and there, but majority of people know their responsibility. That's their second property. Somebody else is making the mortgage payment. Your third profit comes from in taxes. Even though your property value is going up in the value, but the law sees or the government sees that your structure is coming down in price. Your land is increasing, but your value of the structure is coming down. So they give you benefits in tax. So you can take the decision. And also any improvements you do on your property, that's also tax deductible. So you change the refrigerator, you change bathroom or whatever, it's all tax deductible, so you don't pay any taxes. Basically, you defer the taxes. So you're not, and then when you have that money accumulated, then you reinvest that money back into buy another property, and that's how the rich people buy more and more and more, and then become wealthier and wealthier and wealthier, and they don't sell. And if they sell, they buy a property of same value or the higher value. So this is how the real estate produces money. Now, what I said is too fast. Some of you probably would not have gotten what I'm talking about or understood what I was talking about. Majority of you probably have. So real estate creates wealth, not for you only, but also create wealth for your future generations. Only time I have seen people selling real estate when they don't have any choice. Only disadvantage in real estate is this, or one of the disadvantages in real estate, only in real estate, if you want to sell it, then it might not get sold unless the market is hot. So you will probably have to wait. But in stocks, you can sell it right away, and within a week or less than a week, you will get your money. In the United States, I don't know about the other countries, but in the United States, that's how it works. So real estate is real, tangible, have lots of benefits, and it creates income for you. It is somewhat passive income, lot of residual income on your investment. But no matter how you slice it, it's always going to give you benefits and financial benefits, and that is your self-worth too, because people can see what you have done. But if you have money invested in stock and all that, people would not know. So where people invest money? When they have money, they buy fancy cars. Where it's going to depreciate. Whatever has an engine, whatever it moves, very likely it will going to depreciate in cost. Real estate is always appreciating cost. So it's got 4 or 5 benefits. First, the bargain. If you get a property in a bargain price, that's your profit. Tenants pay the rent or your mortgage, that's your profit. Government, everything is tax deductible. Whatever the expense you make on your real estate, that is your benefit. And fourth is this, that it increases in value. I gave you an example of the first house I bought. Even putting the $35,000 in renovation over 30 years and $15,000 down payment I paid when I bought that house, now that house is $300,000. And also 30 years it gave me rent. So think about real estate. But make sure that if you want to do real estate, do it right. Work with your hands. Once you think that you can hire somebody else, must have some other income too. Don't depend on real estate completely. Always keep at least 8 to 10% working capital. When I say working capital, if something goes wrong, you have the money to invest. Also, always work with the local banks. Even their interest rate is a point or two higher than the one of those big banks who do not have an office in your town or in your city, but deal with the local banks where you form the relations, and you can basically bring that interest rate down by making 2 or 3 extra payment. So it's all money game. It's all money game, but it's a long-term investment. And I can guarantee you, if anybody I have known so far, or the people I have known so far who are in real estate, they have not lost money and they have done well. A couple of people I've taught about real estate over 30 years, and they are both millionaires. They'll tell you. Thank you again for watching the video. Thank you again for consuming all this information. I hopefully you use this information, and we will talk more about real estate. Now I'm going to start talking about how you should buy real estate and how you should learn real estate. I'm intentionally making this video 10 to 15 minutes or so because you don't get bored. And if you get bored, you can watch the next videos some other time. But try to watch all this video because this is a real experience. This is what I have done over the years. Thank you again.